Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton. Along with me, as always, well, except for last week, is our still slightly sick Sporto Bethany McChesney.
Yeah. Yeah, I got hit.
And that's not why you missed last week, but you know,
No, that was all compounded though.
yeah. So what we thought we'd do today is we're gonna catch up because you missed some stuff. We're gonna do a quick episode because Beth is still sick and I'm working a lot of overtime.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a quickie, and what we're gonna go through first off is you haven't had your chance to have your take on a couple things.
hmm
So first off, let's do the whole Sean Noble thing. Now, we've gone through
Yeah.
it before, so you're familiar with it. Sean, yeah, you describe what you know so that we're
Yeah, so I mean what I know and from what I saw, I watched the race and Sean Noble tied with now the part of the sickness too is that I feel like my brain doesn't work properly, so I'm forgetting who he tied with.
Tomas Dverdik.
Okay. Yeah. And but edged him out by half a second at the last major. And now 3 days later, they retroactively gave him a 10-second penalty for one missed wall ball based on some videos that they watched after the fact. So now Sean is not qualified for Worlds and the other guy that
Thomas
sorry,
Tomas
Tom,
Dverdik.
Thomas Verdict
You just
is
don't want to say his name.
that is part of it because I keep wanting to say Tobias and it's not Tobias.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's as far as I know. And as far as I know, too, Sean Noble has not made a statement. We haven't heard his feelings or perspective on it. So that's kind of where it is right now.
So that part of it I can comment on because originally when this first happened, I was doing a live show with Matt and Ian K. And Tomas kept saying he'll talk to Dave later, meaning me, that he was going to talk to me. He would talk to me.
Tomas or Sean?
Sean, my bad, Sean.
Oh, okay.
Or you had me saying Tomas so much that I
Yeah.
got used to it. So we were going to do an interview and stuff, and I'm not quite sure exactly why he wanted to do one with me, other than maybe I agreed with him. But
hmm
we talked about it and he's decided, you know what, he just wants to put it past him. He's going to focus on trying to run at the LCQ and get in like that. And he just wants to let it be. So that's on him. Um,
I can see him wanting to talk to you though, because you're the rule book guy.
yeah. There's that too, right? But
hmm
anyway, so publicly he's decided he doesn't want um, he just wants to let it die. He obviously still does not agree with it, but he needs to, he said in order for him to focus on something else, he needs to just let it go. And I get that. Luckily, I don't need to focus on anything else. So I think it's stupid.
Yeah, I was shocked that they made this move. Um, I think it's completely wrong on their behalf. And that, again, we kind of talked about this a little bit before, interestingly enough, with the same person, where there was a
Mhm.
retroactive penalty made because of his lunges. Now, I do agree in the sense that his lunges needed some sort of a penalty. But again, like this situation, it has to be done in the moment. And my understanding, too, of this wall ball thing was that his judge told him to go.
Yep.
So again, it's not like his judge was saying stop, 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 and he wasn't listening to the judge.
Mhm.
So again, like you what the judge says in the moment also has to stand, and his judge told him to go. And I mean, he knew he was in a tight race with Tomas, so he had to go. There wasn't time to like hesitate and be like, was that good? Was that not? Like there wasn't time. So of course he sprinted for the line. So I think I don't know what they are thinking, bringing something in 3 days later, and for something that's kind of insignificant in a sense. Like it wasn't like a bad rep. It was, yes, he missed one, but with also with the new timings or the new counting system, they're flawed. Like we've seen it happen so many times where they stop working and, miss some reps here and there. So for them to use that doesn't make any sense. Um, yeah, and I mean, Sean got to spend 3 days already wrapping his head around qualifying, and then now he's not. It's just this doesn't and shouldn't happen in this situation. I think the only situations where you can ever retroactively change a result like this would be if he tested positive for something. Yes, change it. Or if there was like a he hurt somebody and they saw during the race and we saw footage of it later. Like where
Smack
there
somebody
was
in the back of the head with his baton.
right. Yeah, something like that where there was violence or like he injured another athlete on purpose. Right, allegedly. Um
Allegedly.
So those are the only two circumstances where I think you can ever 3 days later give someone a penalty. Like, and with with the stakes of this one, like you know what you're doing, giving him 10 seconds. You know what you're doing. So I don't. I would love to have been a fly on the wall when they were making this decision because I completely disagree with it as well.
Well, the two things too that come out to me, and I think I mentioned them before, but just in case. One, I'm told he was not given a chance to plead his own case, that it was just, this is it, you're not allowed to appeal it. And two, and I don't understand this, when Viola and Vivian had penalties at Worlds last year for missing a wall ball or a no rep, it was 5 seconds. And now it's
Really?
10.
Uh,
And still nowhere in the rule book does it actually say what it's going to be.
really?
Yeah, it's so I mean, like I
It
just
would be hard for Sean Noble to not feel a little bit targeted here.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, and if you ask me, do I think Hyrox is targeting him? No, I do not. Do I think I would feel targeted if I was Sean Noble? Hell yes, I would.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
do not blame him for feeling that way at all. Like they've used video review twice in their history. It's not in the rule book, and twice it's been him.
Yeah.
And once it was to keep him out of the Elite 15, and the other one was to keep him out of the world. So yeah, you get why he would feel targeted for sure.
Yeah. Mhm.
Anyway, Sean, if you ever change your mind and want to talk about it, come on. Hey, if you ever want to just come on anyway, come on. Right? We don't even have to talk about that. We can talk about ankle injuries and Irish stuff.
Good beer.
Good beer, Irish coffee, green grass, shillelaghs. I don't know. That's about my Irish songs. Yeah, so I wanted you to have a say on that. Now, following week, I guess it was, we had a lot of doubles action. The big one that I want to ask you about, because this is what's come up a lot, is Tia's race with Joanna and its significance to the sport and kind of its significance to how good is Tia or isn't Tia.
Mhm. I mean, I think it is showing her incredible potential in this sport because when her coming in, the talk was really Tia's running could not keep up to the Elite 15, which was true when she started. But what we're seeing now is a Tia who can run.
Hmm.
So their run splits were still, she was running 3:30s. Obviously, there's more breaks involved um, when you're doing doubles, but I mean, it's not like she dropped off. And they maintained very consistent 3:30s or some were less even. So um we're seeing a Tia who can run. And we're talking about an athlete who's one of the fittest humans on the planet. And now she just has to focus a little bit more on like on specific like Hyrox is an exact thing all the time. Like she's used to training for so much variance. So now she just kind of has to dial in some things. Like, of course, she's going to end up being good at this pretty quickly because it's not like Tia didn't run before. Tia was Tia won the last running event at the last games. Like, she's still an amazing runner, and now she's becoming an even better runner. And the thing too with Hyrox is it's an aerobic sport. So to develop later in life as an already seasoned athlete to develop um like a fast twitch, or like if she was switching to trying to run at 800, something where it would, you can't necessarily become like really fast later in
Yeah.
life. This is an aerobic sport, and we know our aerobic capacity is limitless with for as you age. So of course, it's something that she can, it's still a trainable factor for her. So it's, I think, I think we're just seeing the beginning of Tia. And I think the significance of it is is it's a pretty big deal because now one of because now CrossFit, it's kind of hard for CrossFit to keep up their
Mhm.
Hyrox is stupid, when the queen of CrossFit is now
Yeah.
winning races in Hyrox. So,
It is hard, but they're still doing it. Actually, I wasn't even sure I was going to talk about this, but I'm going to bring it up. Yeah, because I don't usually like to talk about other guys that say shit I don't like on other podcasts. But I do know that actually, if you heard this, you would be pissed. But there's a podcast out there called The Barbell Spin, and they do some incredible digging. Like if you follow them on Instagram, dude gets some incredible inside information and does some really great work. And Brian Spin, I don't know what his real last name is, but that's what they say. He's awesome. He does great work. But he's got a guy on his show named John Young, and I'm sure he's not a bad person, but man, he says shit that pisses me off. And so I've actually tried to go back to listening to the show, but I can't because he just like there was something he said that bothered me before, so I bailed out. Where he said he can't watch women's strong man, strong woman, or whatever you want to call it, because of the way they look and
okay.
appearance. So I'm like, yeah, okay. And that bothered me, and that bothered a lot of people. And so I'd stop, but then I'm like, okay, I know that Spin, who, like I said, does great work, so I'm going to go back and listen again. And then in this episode, I listened to, and I didn't go through to get through the whole episode because he got to this point where he said that Tia looked skinny, but not just skinny, super AIDS skinny.
What?
Yeah, super AIDS skinny. And then he went from there to say that, well, not as skinny as the other Hyrox girls, but they look like Holocaust survivors.
What?
Yeah, I'm not shitting you. And so I shut it off. And I'm like, man,
So what is an athlete supposed to look like to him?
you got to look like
Like,
a that Daniel Brandon, I think, is the only one that's okay, I guess.
okay.
Maybe Emily Rolfe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just like,
Wow. First of all, that's mean.
it's not just mean. That's bad shit. Like that's disrespectful to people who suffered from AIDS, people who've like, come on, you don't make joke about the Holocaust.
No, that's super crossing some serious lines. Like this is, those are the type of comments that should get you shut down.
I wouldn't even make that joke to you and I privately.
No, no.
That's just how classless it is. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh my God. So you want to know how they still came is because of guys like that that are leading the ship of, oh, Hyrox, who cares? But yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's odd.
I know. And I was like, I remember listening, I'm like, do we want to talk about that? I'm like, yeah, fuck it, who cares? Like it's
I
just,
mean, I think the CrossFit versus Hyrox conversation is really getting old to me.
oh
Like,
God.
really getting old. Like, can we just be done with it now? Hyrox is a race. CrossFit is a workout brand. Like, it's all great. If someone's just doing any of it, it's fantastic. Like, it
No,
doesn't have to be a one or the other or them
no.
versus us. Like, I don't understand it. I've never seen something like this before. So
Fit,
out of control.
fitness monogamy is not a real thing. No, I have seen something like this before when Tough Mudder and Spartan were head to head. There was a Tough Mudder camp and a Spartan camp, and never the two should cross. And that was just as dumb. But they weren't as bad as this. This is just pathetic. And it's like, come on, like
Yeah.
nobody. Yeah. Anyway, guys like that, they're just you wonder why CrossFit is having some issues. It's because of guys like that.
The people that have a big voice.
Yeah. And there's quite a few of them in the CrossFit space that have that voice and that I'm sad. I feel bad for people in CrossFit that they don't have more. um, media that isn't like that. If you're looking for one, I recommend Clydesdale Media. Carolyn Prevost is a co-host on that show, and
Oh.
and they are. I'm not gonna say I agree with everything they say, but they're at least respectable and doing a good job. So yeah, check them out. Clydesdale Media is a good one.
Mhm.
So yeah, and they go live Sunday nights.
Nice.
Yeah, so that one caught me. But yeah, the whole thing's gotta die.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta die. Just get rid of it.
Mhm.
I do agree with you with a lot of takes on Tia. She did better than I expected. I still don't think at this point, right now, she's better than a 62 on a solo at this moment.
Mhm.
But next year, that could change. That,
Yeah.
yeah, that could change. And a 62 right now would get her 62 mid would get her in contention for the Elite 15.
Yeah. Yeah, it would. I look at some of the races where there's a roll down.
Yeah. And I think if you go back and back and back, shows and shows and shows ago, I actually said then that I think 62-30 to 63-30 was where I think she's at. And I still think she's there. That's where I think her capability is for right now. Um, I think she was a little bit insulated on the runs. I mean, Joanna started every station, or pretty much every station, finished pretty much every station to allow Tia to rest so that she could keep up on the runs and go from there. So, but what she did was fantastic. Um,
Hmm.
was an awesome job, and I look forward to seeing them race at Worlds,
Yeah.
and hopefully Lauren Griffith not passing out halfway through the race.
She didn't pass out in this one, did she? She did?
Did again, yep.
Wow. That's a thing for her.
Yeah, two does seem to make it a thing,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Um,
Wow.
so hopefully, but they're a good team, and then Morgan and Elena, who happens to be Paleo's wife, qualified in that third spot.
Oh, it's Paleo's wife. Okay. I knew that she had raced with Paleo before.
Yeah,
That's
that's
all. Okay.
yeah, and she's damn good too. Like she's fit,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming
Keep it
there's a
together.
Chicago tie there. I think they all live in that Chicago area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that was good. All right. The other thing I wanted to hit on is the Hyrox rule change that I'm calling, well, it's about fucking time.
Yeah.
The well, it's about fucking time rule. What's your thoughts on that, Beth?
Um, yeah, I mean, same thing when I saw it, I was like, duh, because we've talked about
That's
this
exactly
before.
what it. Yeah.
Like, why are we qualifying from open to race pro at Worlds? It makes no sense because they're so different.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I think it obviously makes sense because we've said this before. I think the tricky part is though for people like us is we don't, I mean, I've never raced in an open race, so it's not necessarily for someone like me, but we only have so many opportunities to qualify here. You know, in Europe there's a Hyrox somewhere every weekend. Like the amount of races some people do just blows my mind because we don't even have access to
Yeah.
races that
Yeah.
as frequently, like not even remotely. So what I'm hoping that they do is they'll open up more spots within the North American series because um otherwise because we're losing a lot of qualifying opportunities if people can't come from open. I don't think they should qualify from open, but I think that what if it goes down to top 3 or so at each race instead of just one, because otherwise we're going to be the North American side is going to be largely not as like we're not going to have as many people than
Mhm.
all the people that qualify in the European races.
Yeah. They gotta figure out some stuff with that. And it's I mean that's still a problem. That was a problem from before. That problem will still remain now until we get more races and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
I think too that now I think this makes the open championships more important for open racers.
Yeah.
Now that's their chance to become an open champion.
Hmm.
So I'm okay with that. I've never raced an open solo either, because I've never raced a solo.
You've never raced a solo?
I've done a solo Hyrox, no.
Oh,
Yeah, I've always done the doubles. It's just been more fun for me. But when Toronto comes around this year, if it'll come around. Just
Yeah.
they just haven't announced the date and stuff yet.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, when Toronto comes around this year, I'm gonna go run pro this year and get it in there because the zones, the stations don't worry me. It's just I'll just be slower running than I used to be before. So
Yeah.
my run has dropped off, but my strength has picked up.
Yeah, you got to run for Hyrox, Dave.
I got no problem doing it. I'll run it. I just won't be as fast as the runs won't be as fast as I maybe would have been a year and a half ago. But
Yeah.
the stations will be faster, and it's
Hmm.
just due to what I'm training for, what my my goals are, my purposes are. But that it's one of those things, right? When you pick a goal and you want to push for it really hard, other things might suffer.
Yeah.
And that's something where you just have to look at it and go, okay, so I won't be the best or as best I can be at that because I gotta be the best I can be at this other thing.
Hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, it's good. Other than that, oh, I will ask you one thing. That we did the top 20 rankings for the hybrid as athletes. Tia is now on the top 20.
Oh,
I
really?
did not. I did not vote.
Already?
I did not vote for her to be there. Would you put her on the top 20?
No.
No, no. I
I
don't.
think you have to you have to have done a solo race. I think you have to have proven yourself on your own. Like we've only seen her in the doubles capacity. So no, I don't think her doing that race with Joanna puts her in the top 20.
Here's an interesting thing from it. So Meg Jacoby dropped down quite a few spots.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, I did not put Meg Jacoby on my list because she has not raced in so long due to injury. And
Yeah.
this is not an all-time list who's this is a for now list. So
Yeah.
what's your take on that?
Yeah, because isn't it once a month that it comes out?
Ish.
So it's kind of a screenshot of right now
Yeah,
in hybrid
exactly.
racing.
Yeah.
So it does make sense. And I mean, I don't think we doubt Meg's gonna come back and be in shape, but she still kind of has to prove herself again.
But yeah,
This
like
is
she could be one race away from being right back up there.
yeah.
All right. So here I'll ask you this just so that it's easy. Because I would not I would obviously never ask you to make your top 20 like on give me your top think you could do your top five men and women?
Um, maybe. I mean, I think we're so Hyrox heavy though right now.
Yes, we are.
There's just I mean, we've had one Deca since Worlds, and it wasn't really.
It was fairly sparsely attended
Yeah,
compared to
yeah.
the next one, which is sold out, and the one after that.
Yeah. And we haven't, like, I haven't seen much other things going on. So unless, yeah, so it's very High Rocks heavy. So I mean, you're kind of looking at your top five in High Rock.
Yeah, so who do you got?
Well, Lauren, Joanna, Kate Davy, who will come back from this injury. Um, um, Linda Meyer, number five. I don't know.
So
Vivian.
you're pretty much, yeah, that's actually the top five I had. Not necessarily in that order, but that's the top five I
Mhm.
had. And then what about men? And this one, there's a little bit of an interesting one here, or it could be.
So yeah, because Ronkovic hasn't raced in a little bit, but
Now he
he
has, but it was open, and his time was similar to JK's pro.
oh, hmm. Well, maybe he doesn't know.
It's almost a damning thing that he raced there.
Yeah, but he probably used it as a training. Like he
I, I,
probably did a workout the day before.
I would assume so.
Yeah. Well, JK would probably be at the top right now. JK, Dylan.
Yeah, that's my one too.
Mhm. I'd still put Ronkovic up there.
I had Rocco in three.
Yeah. Um, well, then the men's field is just so stacked from there. It's like,
So I'll tell you,
uh,
I went with Tim Vinish next.
yeah. And then Rich Ryan.
Actually, I'm not sure if I went with Rich or Bo Wills.
Okay. Yeah, the same thing. It's like any given day, who knows?
Yeah, when you're
Uh,
past, yeah, I think once you're past Alex,
yeah,
when you're past those three right now, in my mind, Dylan, JK, Dylan, and Alex, it is yeah, depending on the wind,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
right? So it was interesting. Yeah, so that's cool. All right. I honestly think that's it. For sick you, tired me, I think we're good.
Yeah, I made it
Um,
without a coughing fit.
you did. By the way, anyone wanting to go to the Farm Girl Deca, I think we're already sold out again. Um,
Yeah.
Trying to,
But my ultra on June 22nd, the
yes.
registration is now live on Race Roster. So if you want to come and run for 6 hours in our nice little trail loop in our conservation area here.
The funny thing is, and I'm going to be away, so I'm not going to be able to go do it. I would actually do that one because it's only a 2.5K,
Hmm.
right? So
Exactly.
I could bail out anytime I wanted,
Yes.
right?
And you get lots of breaks for snacks.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So I would have actually done this race. Had it been like a 5K loop, I probably wouldn't have done it. But a two
Yeah.
and a half K loop, I mean, let's be honest, even if you conk out and you just walk that last loop, big deal. You're, just keep go for a stroll for the rest of the 6 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Like even walking 2.5K loops isn't bad. Like you're still looping back every 25 minutes. So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Take the dog.
mhm. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I thought it looked pretty good. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I have actually had a few people, because I shared so many stories. I've had some people say, hey, yeah, I might go do that. A couple of farm girls are interested in going down to do it.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. So,
Yeah. So lots of fun. Go sign up. Beth, let's get out of here.
yeah, thanks so much everyone for listening. Nice short episode today, but that's about our capacity anyways. So, until next time.
Take care.